Heyo, witchy ones and tubelets alike. Reverend Thodron here again for my third installation of the YouTube Pagan Challenge. And today, yet again, I'm doing two of the challenge questions in order to kind of catch up. I think right now we're supposed to be on week 6, and I am currently on number 4 and 5. So soon I will be caught up. So today's questions are, how do I see the Wheel of the Year? What's my take on it? And what does this time of the year mean for me? Without any umming, here we go. This time of the year, for me, is kind of like, at least at the time that this question is meant to be answered, it's around Imbolc, and it's still pretty much around that time of the year, and that to me is kind of like the Earth's first steps into puberty. You know, it's like that awkward phase where it's kind of, change is happening, but it's really kind of mucky, kind of like, oh yeah, it's really great that these things are going on, but there's all these wonderful side effects that cause some unpleasant things to happen in normal day-to-day life, like, you know, squishy mud puddles that you probably saw me falling through yesterday, and, well, almost falling through, and, you know, it's like the acne of the year. It's great because it means that there's development happening, there's really important things changing that bring even, well, not greater, but I guess it's a way of looking forward to the potential. It shows the potential of what's to come. This winter has been really mild as well, so I feel like this summer is going to be a hell of a scorcher. So yeah, that's kind of my take on the time of the year of around Imbolc. Like, I love Imbolc because, especially in Kelowna here, it gets to be the kind of climate at this time of year that you would traditionally associate with Imbolc. Like, flowers actually do start to sprout, and you do see the first, on some trees, you see the first kind of buds starting to form. And that to me is really really nice to see. It puts some hope into my heart, because my moods are like crazy affected by the weather. Like, winter Chris is not exactly not exactly as happy as a summer Chris. I'm not really a summer person, I'm more of a spring and fall person. Last summer, however, was amazing, so maybe that's changing. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, Imbolc is just kind of like the awkward transition stage to me. And I like Imbolc for that, because it's like you get to take the good, like you're finding the good in it, but it's also kind of a mucky, gloomy kind of time, but you're happy about it because it means that something is coming. It's like you're saying, prepare yourself, you know? And I like that. I like that. It's makes me happy every year. In fact, I remember in Alberta, I was so happy one year because it was just so cold. I literally couldn't go to work for like 3 days because the snow was like well past our handle on our door. It was stupid just how much snow we had and how cold it was, like minus 40 Celsius for like a solid 2 weeks. It was gross. But yeah. So, next question. What's my take on the Wheel of the Year? And this is kind of an interesting question to me because I've never really thought about, you know, how I see the Wheel of the Year in general as an entity, aside from the fact that I observe it. And to me, the Wheel of the Year, it's like a marker for attunement, you know? I don't see the Sabbats as being these things that you have to hold rituals for, and that if you don't, you're not a true witch. I mean, I do hold Sabbats for at least I do hold rituals for at least 2 Sabbats a year. But the Sabbats, for me, are almost more of like a signal to start thinking in a different way, start attuning yourself to different types of attributes of seasons and elements associated with them and correspondences. I start focusing on different things. I start doing different things. As you saw yesterday, I start going out into the pines a little bit more. I start hiking a little bit more around this time of year. And as the year goes on, that just kind of, that becomes more. But the wheel of the year to me is a lot like, it's like a clock, you know, and like in any given day, around certain important times of the day, you start doing different things that make sense with that time of the year, or of the day, sorry. And like, you know, lunchtime, you eat lunch, you relax, you enjoy yourself. Around 10 or 11, you know, you might have a little bit of a break. You'll sit back and you'll kind of prepare yourself for what's to come in the next couple hours, and you'll kind of, maybe you'll reflect on what you've done in the past few hours, and you know, it kind of goes on and on. We all know how a day goes, and to me, that's kind of how the year, the wheel of the year is. It's just kind of like a clock in a grander scale, and it's basically like the Sabbats are just kind of hour markers, like every hour and a half or so, which makes sense because there's 12 hours and there's 12 months, and each Sabbat is roughly a month and a half apart, and every hour and a half or so is when they're kind of the markers for when you stop certain things and start other things, and that's what the wheel of the year kind of seems to me, and yeah, that's kind of how I see it. So, I mean, I don't really think there's anything much more to say about it. It's pretty straightforward to me. But yeah. So thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Comment, subscribe, like. Ask me some questions below if you want to know my take on something I haven't mentioned yet. Feel free to ask away below. It would make my day. You know, I'd love to answer a question or two that isn't my own. So yeah. Thank you for watching. Blessed be, and merry part.